Hey, this is your host, Anthony Dinar, and your co-host, Brandon Hayes.
Hello?
And today we're playing Skeleton Warriors. I gotta say, right off the bat, I fucking had these toys, and these were the best toys I ever had.
Yeah, the toy line looked really good. The cartoon was horribly written. It was like He-Man quality
Yeah.
script. But I watched it every Saturday. I
Yeah.
loved it. I was devastated when they canceled it. I was devastated when they canceled the toy line because I saw prototypes for what the second line of figures was going to be. And I was super excited to own them. I never played this game, though. I never knew this game existed until a couple years ago.
Yeah. First off, right off the bat, like I'm glitching out really bad. I had a bad controller. The game was also like it's just kind of a weird thing. So like when you hit the bad guy, you see that blue thing. Like that's what do they call it in the cartoon?
It's like their soul stone or something.
Yeah, that's what it was, soul stone. So you got to destroy that in order to kill the skeletons,
or they'll just reassemble.
Exactly, and then they'll fight you again. But it took me a while. We were having some trouble with the Elgato technical difficulties. And I wasn't really committing to playing the game. I was just trying to like figure out how to make the system work, and it was just a mess. Anyways, it turned out to like I just got like sucked into the game, and I solved the problem with the glitched out controller,
which is great because we have like 1,000 different PlayStation controllers.
Yeah,
and they're all in a pile. And so we determined, like, oh, yeah, this one is bad. Let's switch it out. And didn't we switch it out to a second one that was glitched out, too?
Yeah, we have two bad controllers.
So instead of doing the smart thing and throwing them away, we threw them right back into the pile. And I can't remember which ones are which. So there'll come a time in the future where we'll get stuck using one of those broken controllers again.
Yeah, well, one of the broken ones you could tell right away because like the trigger's messed up. And you don't even need to have the system on to tell that it's ruined. The other one was like this weird controller that it's like, it works both on the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2. It's like an off-brand thing. And it doesn't. It's like this. And I thought the game was just fucked because like the disc was all scratched and you can't even play like the intro.
Here we go. I left the pause in there just to let everyone know when you finally got a working controller.
And look at that. I'm walking normal and stuff. It's like, oh wow, this is what it's supposed to be. I had no idea. But the game sucks so bad that I'm like, I'm not playing this over again. It's not an easy game. It's really frustrating. So I'm like, okay, I want to see how far I can get before I turn it off. And that's why we were like, okay, like let's get a new controller. Let's see if we can make this work.
Meanwhile, the sounds on this game are some of the worst.
It's worse than Apple II.
You really start to realize how bad this franchise was as a whole, because the figures, like I said, they look great. Even to this day, you look at those figures, they really put some serious detail into them. They look awesome. But that's all this was, like everything else, the cartoon, the video game, everything was designed just to sell those figures.
Yeah.
So they didn't care about the quality of this at all.
No, they didn't. No, and you can actually see one of those figures in that movie, Indian in the Cupboard. And like, I always wanted to see like an alternate ending where, like, when he put the Indian in the cupboard and he locks it, and then when he opens it up, it's like the Indian's alive. Right before he put the Indian in the cupboard, he thought about putting the skeleton warrior that had like all the multiple arms. He was gonna put that one in there instead. I was like, I wish that would have happened.
I would recommend to the viewing audience that you don't watch the Indian in the Cupboard, and if you want to see the toys, you just Google them. It's quicker. You don't have to sit through a bad movie.
Well, it's like, I only say that because I'm sure like the listeners have already watched that movie. And it's like, oh yeah, I remember that. Like, you know, recall the memory.
Like, you even raise your sword like He-Man.
Yeah.
This was such a He-Man ripoff. But for some reason, I really loved it as a kid. I mean, it just, those figures is what sold it. But I was the perfect target audience chump that they were looking for. But I tried to watch the cartoon, I don't know, like, let's say 5 years ago or something.
And it's terrible.
Yeah. Oh, boy. That writing is horrible.
Yeah, no, it sucks.
That's why, like, another cartoon that I used to watch, one of the last cartoons that I used to go out of my way to watch, before I like grew up and stopped waking up Saturday mornings early and stopped watching cartoons before school and stuff, was Exo Squad. And there's an Exo Squad game, and that's for Genesis, and it's terrible, and I'm gonna get it eventually and play it. But that's one of those cartoons that I remember the writing being so good, and I was so into that show. And I am kind of afraid to ever revisit the show itself.
Because you'll ruin those memories.
Yeah, because I bet the writing is terrible.
Yeah. One thing that I liked about the cartoon of Skeleton Warriors was it's not this guy that you're playing. It's his brother, I believe, who's like half Skeleton Warrior, half human. And like he can like travel through shadows or something. Isn't that how it goes?
Yeah, it's the more interesting character, but like you said, he's not the He-Man of the franchise. He's like the man-at-arms.
Yeah.
And so like they wouldn't let you play as him as a main character, but they should have, because he has more abilities and he's cooler.
Yeah. No, he was awesome.
Meanwhile, like in comparison to the cartoon, these landscapes don't fit at all.
No, not one bit. No.
And it's funny how similar they look. It's all just dingy, dark, grimy garbage.
Yeah, you're at the fucking He-Man castle. What was that? The Castle Grayskull. Yeah. That's what this looks like. Or you're in that like alternate dimension where Mortal Kombat took place.
Yeah, Outland.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like in the cartoon, it was a normal kingdom with, grass and trees and shit.
Yeah.
I don't know where they got these landscapes from.
And, like, you can't really tell, but the floor is, like, super slippery right here. Like, I'm not even moving, but I'm sliding all over the place.
I like how you swing your sword. Like, no one swings their sword like that.
Yeah. And those guys are the worst. They have the projectiles. And you can shoot those little red things, so but you have to collect their souls in order to have ammo for your projectile weapon. So you got to try to save them.
So you got to collect the blue soul gems to shoot a red thing out of your sword.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. It should have been the other way around.
Or just keep the color consistent.
Yeah. Do you remember the toy dog that you had that was like the leader's pet?
Yeah.
Like that was cool. Like they should have used, if you're gonna put a dog in here, that's what they should have made it look like.
Oh, you mean they should have made the game more like the show?
Yeah.
That would have been good.
And they should have made like the show more like the toys, because those toys were like dark looking, and the cartoon was like.
That might have been why they failed, though, because I remember even our mom being like, "Oh, these are ugly. I don't want to buy these."
Yeah, like they're possessed by the devil or something dumb. Boy, our mom was stupid, and then she bought us the toys anyways. Like, fucking commit, right?
I like the fact that she wavered quite a bit in that sense.
Yeah, like, it's cool because you got the toys.
Remember, like, when Howard Stern wrote his second book, Miss America, and I wanted to get that book so bad, and Mom was like, "No, you're never going to have that. I'm never going to let you own it." Meanwhile, she let me listen to the radio show in the mornings, and then I finally, we had a Walden Books or something kind of close by. And
so yeah.
I ended up walking there.
That's a long walk.
Yeah, but I ended up walking there and buying the book myself. And then she saw that I bought the book, and she was pissed, but she didn't take it away.
Yeah, that's the same exact story with me, by the way, for Marilyn Manson's book. I'm like, shut up, bitch. You're lucky I fucking read.
Jesus Christ.
I'm really, right? Like, I'm reading. Like, I'm actually, like...
No, you're like... I wasn't agreeing with you. I'm like, Jesus Christ. You're like, I know, right? We see eye to eye, don't we? Like, God damn it. No, you missed the point of it. Anyway.
Like, this looks terrible. This looks nothing like the first 2 levels. And it's like pixelated garbage. You can't tell what's going on. And like, you turn really sharply in this level. It's really hard to play.
Anyway, I was going to say that wavering parenting sometimes worked in our benefit because they would say, like, you're grounded for 2 weeks. And then they would forget. Or be too lazy to enforce it. So, like, you'd really be grounded for, like, 2 days or something, if that. And then, like, everything was reset.
Yeah.
Like, it takes too much effort to
be a parent.
Just get out of the house. I'm sick of seeing you. Also, this was back when, like everyone had a TV in their room, but you wanted the big TV in the living room to put your system on.
Yeah, yeah.
So you'd always want to play video games on that, and they'd want you out of the house.
Yeah. Yeah, it's stupid. And then, like, she was also really, like, overprotective, so it was like, you couldn't go far or do anything, but, like, you could, like, basically, I'm just gonna set all these restrictions, like, you're destined to be bored.
Don't leave the front yard. Don't go farther than the mailbox.
Yeah, yeah. You're lucky you got to the fucking mailbox. You remember when it was like, I couldn't even get the mail? That was fucking pathetic. And we weren't even in like the those neighborhoods where they share the mailboxes. We were like the mailbox was right outside our door. Anyways, this level looks slightly better. Side those weird jellyfish things, but
it's still nothing like the show.
But there's like certain growth or whatever in the background that like that's some sort of life. Weird dog like insect thing.
Yeah, you're starting to realize that this is it. This is the entire game.
Yeah.
Like, even though this isn't a long play, you didn't beat it. I don't imagine that the game gets very much different from this. In fact, after recording this, we should look up on YouTube and see a long play, because I'm sure someone did it.
Yeah.
Someone had the patience to do it.
Someone had no life. No, I'm just joking.
Once again, I have to point out that, like, when you say something like that,
we have no life.
We have no life because we played the game, and also, like, we didn't beat it. So we're even worse off than that guy.
No.
That guy is laughing at us.
What are you kidding? Like, no one listens to this shit. Watches this channel.
Hopefully mom never listens.
No, because that's too much like parenting. They'd be interested in what their kids do. Oh, that's funny. Like, we have to force her to be on the show, and she doesn't even like it.
I don't know if she's ever been on the show by the time this gets released. We did play some video games with her. I don't know if we can salvage any of that footage or not. I don't think
so, no. But we watched a movie with her, and that was hard.
Yeah, we recorded a movie review. You can go to torturevision.com and see our old movie reviews that are ancient and we don't do anymore.
It was funny, though. She admitted to committing a felony. Remember that? She tried to murder someone.
Yeah, she tried.
It's still like...
Or she didn't even try. She just had thoughts of a felony. I think everyone's done that. Anyway, Skeleton Warriors.
Yeah, that was an interesting death scene, by the way. Did you catch that? Like, he like turns into a skeleton warrior. So now you're on the right side. I think I did beat the game.